Welcome, Field Home Farm Sessions, episode 288 on January 10th, 2026. I think I got the date right today. As I said, I haven't got my calendar yet. This digital society is getting rid of calendars, and they want you to do everything online, but I still like a calendar. I like looking at that one, but I do need another one to talk about warm weather. Snow's gone. Power out. We had kind of a weird storm here north of Toronto and near Bradford, Ontario. Had my visitor, a new farmer who wants to be a new entry, and some politics in hockey. I will talk about that in a minute. Traffic podcast. Something wrong about Derry. Hubie Jan was texting me on comments and just saying about she doesn't listen to any other podcasts other than this one. Thank you very much, Hubie Jen. That is very flattering, and thank you for that. Not that there's no other podcasts out there. I just don't think she can handle any other ones, so she just listens to one. And she knows me, and I mention her. There's probably not many other podcasts that would mention Hubie Jen unless she started her own. Not because she's not a great person, just because. Something wrong about Derry in Wisconsin. I did message him and say, what do you think about the quota system in Canada? And KJ is on. I had my eyes closed. I was just thinking about stuff. Something wrong about Derry. I was talking about that guy who does a video podcast in Wisconsin, and I texted him and asked him about the quota system in Canada. He never messaged me back. I started watching. They come up different episodes, different blurbs, and it's not as interesting to myself because it basically telling me everything about farming and cheap costs and just different stuff I've heard. So it's not as interesting as to some people it would be, but it would be interesting. It is good to hear about different countries and what happens. And I know a lot of the farmers in Wisconsin would love a quota system just like ours, but they did not mysteries onto. How are you today, Mystery? I'm going to talk about a theory I had. I don't know what it'd work, but it's always a theory. You always think about stuff, but I was talking about the guy, something wrong about dairy in Wisconsin, and he was saying there's like over one farmer a day is quitting in Wisconsin. Now I know Wisconsin's big, and I know maybe you got to get rid of, but some of those guys that milk 30 and 40 cows maybe need to progress a bit. But at the same time, it's pretty sad when you have to sell because of the fact you're not making any money and you can't reinvest in robots or a parlor or something like that. And you know what's going to happen, or you know what is happening is the Walmarts and the Costcos and all these big dairies all these big guys are developing these huge dairies and making cheap milk for a little bit, and when they corner the market, it's more expensive. And a prime example, I guess it's the Walmart example. If you go there, they put a lot of stores out of business, and now their prices aren't as cheap as they used to be. If you pay attention, some people don't pay attention, but they do have some good John Deere stuff. You get some John Deere socks. They're sweat or wicker proof, or whatever you call it. So if you're a working guy like myself and kind of like Mr. No, just kidding. You buy these socks and they wick sweat away, and they're John Deere socks, so they're awesome. And you get them at Walmart. They sell a lot of John Deere stuff, and they're not overly cheap, but nothing's cheap if you go there for underwear or anything else. So, what was the other podcast? Hold on for a minute. That with Brett Hall and Kelly Chase, who's battling cancer right now. He doesn't even look close to what he looked like, which is pretty sad. But he's still. They tell these stories, and it's a pretty good podcast, talking about how back in the day, how it used to be. I got a nice quote for you too, but little fee, sent me a pretty funny couple things today, and it's pretty good. So. Last night, I took my daughter to hockey. She played against Collingwood, a team she never played before, and they lost 1-0, which is unfortunate, but they played shit. The other team deserved to win even more than that, because our team was just, or her team was just on the just shit. They could not get anything going, hardly any shots. The shots they took were from far away. And my daughter fucked up a couple times. The goalie made that's what a goalie's for. When the defenseman or the other players screw up, Emmett is on and he knows all about this. That's what the goalie is for. So when the forwards and the defense fuck up, they save the day. So my daughter led a person around her, and it happens. And the goalie you could see the net was open. The goalie made an amazing glove save, and I was just like, oh. And my daughter went over, and I don't know what she said to her, but probably said thanks, because that's what you do when your goalie like saves the game. And KJ knows too, because KJ's daughter's a goalie, but she just has the parent stress of it. Emmett was a goalie on the NHL. No, you weren't. But Emmett was a goalie, and now he plays out because his knees are fucked from milking cows. Emmett, do you bend over? I never asked you this, but do you bend over when you milk cows, or do you? I used to stand in the gutter, and then I had a milk seat, so I wouldn't bend over as much. I didn't want to wreck my back. Now, mind you, I don't think it matters what you do. If you milk cows in a tie stall, it's either your knees, your back, your shoulders, one or the other are going to fuck up eventually. It does not matter, and it is what it is. So the hockey had. I am not going to get into it because, as I said to you, all my listeners, I got parent cut from the other girls' organization for too much stuff they should have heard, but those higher ups don't want to hear it. So I am not going to talk about what's going on. But let's put it this way: there's some politics and stuff. Not with me. It had to do with the team and stuff that happened. And I am just so far staying out of it. And people are asking me questions. I just stay out of it because I am not getting involved. And I want my daughter to play on this organization next year. So I'm just gonna, things happen. And the one thing for sure, if you want change, then you have to run for a director or run for yeah, Mystery. I'm reading that. Is that Mystery said like the Ottawa Senators drama? Not even close to that stuff what I've heard. But I mean, sports are so hush hush, and I don't know why they don't want to get out in public, but 100% there is some cheating going on in sports. Man, all these guys are in different cities with teams. They're not with their wives. They're not with their girlfriends. Should they do it? No. But does it happen? Of course it happens. And for anybody to hide it is just wrong. But I don't know if those are rumors right now. I'm assuming some are rumors. And then you get people on the online keyboard warriors are saying other stuff, like Perry when that happened, and all the other stuff. Is like the rumors that go around. Some of it's true, some of it's not true, but at the same time, it's going on. Like something's going on. We're not hearing all of it, but and drugs too. Not as much as it used to be, obviously, because you cannot function as a high performing athlete on probably the stuff they used to do back in the day. I was trying to find on my phone what that podcast is, and I will tell you because it'll pop up on my podcast. Here it is. It is called Ice Guardians Podcast with Brett Hall, Tony Twist, Chris Weidman, Garth Butcher's on there. Basil McRae was on there. A bunch of people. I'm sure they're not going to talk about it either. Wendell Clark was on there for a little bit. That was a decent episode. A few other guys that don't. Bernie Federko, if you go way back. Now these guys are probably not going to talk about drugs and painkillers and all that stuff, but you know for sure it was going on back in the day. But for some reason they don't want to talk about it. I guess they don't want to get kids, whatever. But whatever, for whatever reason. So let's put it this way: there's some stuff going on. Not even close to that, Mister. There's none of that. It's believe me, if you want to talk about it, it is some stupid ass shit. And it's being dealt with stupidly, and it's just stupid. It's just stupid shit. And the other thing too is ice time on. I said you never do this like on high end. I know some parents keep stopwatches, see how long their kids are playing or whatnot, but there's some unfair line advantages going on right now, which too. So let's just put it that way. So. You gotta have a fair. Everybody's gotta be fair. Goalie's gotta have fair ice time. Every player's gotta have fair ice time, unless it's the last 5 minutes of a championship or a final playoff game. Then you definitely want your best players. You sit a few, but whatnot. So that's all I'm going to talk about that. I hope I diverted any controversy because I say my daughter, I want her to play in this organization. I'm not going to say anything, but if you want change, and I'm not going to do it because I'm on the chicken board and everything else, enough going on in my life. But these people that are not happy, and believe me, there's a lot of people that aren't happy. I don't have an opinion of whether I'm happy or not. I think I voiced that. But if you want change, you have to run on the board or something like that and try to get some change. But you'll see what happens. Warm weather, the friggin' snow is almost like if I look out my window, like there's only little patches of snow. Snow's gone. It was minus 12 yesterday. I think it's cooling up again. The only problem with it cooling down, the snow gone in January on January 10th is we still have about 2.5 months of winter left. So that is unfortunate. And Mystery, are you going back down to Florida again? If you are, do it in March. And I'm not sure my wife will say it's okay to go, but we'll see. It is 0 today in Bradford, Ontario. 90% chance of snow, and that's why I'm kind of whatever, because we have to drive to Collingwood today, and that's an hour and 8 minutes from my place for my another daughter's there's no crop tour today, but my daughter plays Collingwood again today, and I had to get my daughter a new stick because the other stick was too short. And if anybody knows about sticks, KJ and Emmett nowadays, it's all I want to buy her a wooden stick. I said, why don't you buy a wooden stick from Canadian Tire? Let's get her done the way I used to do it. Oh, it's not enough flex. I'm like, you don't have a hard enough shot to flex the stick like a flex is supposed to happen. So I don't think it would matter if you have a flex. But anyways, $120 for a fucking stick. And this was because the other ones you can tell anything under $80, you can tell they're pieces of shit unless there's like a really, really, really big sale on. And I had a stick picked out. I think it was like $80, but it was the wrong color. I said, holy fuck. So let's put it this way. She's got some chore duty going on. I don't know, Mystery, if you knew the sticks cost that much, but holy shit. $120 was on the cheap side. It was like the lower end of the cheap side. And then my daughter looks at one. It was $410. I said, not a fucking chance. There's no chance. If you were on AA and like it, yeah, I would probably buy you that if you were like one of the stars and blah blah blah. But let's just keep it. Let's just keep the stick under KNC Radio. Is that how you doing the podcast? Did I say Ice Guardians podcast too much, and then all of a sudden you came on? Who knows? Who knows what goes on? Where are you from, KCN Radio? I'm just shooting the shit. Live Toronto, hour and a half north of, Bradford, an hour and a half north of Toronto. And do a podcast every day or a couple of days. And we got the Mystery, we got the KJ, we got the Emmett, just friends from the area. Huey Jen, Dirty Mike, Thailand Kevin, Luigi, Fee. And talk about farming and whatnot. And that's enough about hockey because, like I said, I want to stay in this organization. It's a great organization. Just some hiccups here and there. So yesterday I had the farmer came and visited from checking out chickens. He wants to get in chickens. I mentioned his name before. I'm not going to say his name again. India, there you go. I'm from Canada, so there you go. We have a lot of Indians in Canada, so yes, that's all I'm going to say about that. A lot of them. Yeah, so he came when I checked out the barns, and I try when I'm doing a tour, and I've done them before, and you try to promote your business and try to give them all the facts, and I showed him all my financial numbers of this is what you can make, and I didn't say what my loan was, but I just did say I had a big loan, so so I gave him the numbers. I said, this is what you make. This is the chicks. This is the feed. This is your profit. But then depending on what your loan is, that would be what you make at the end. And give them all the numbers. And I try not to say this is the best business in the world, this first business. I try to say it's a good business and it's up to them to decide what they want to do. And with my two barns, I have an older Hubie Jen will know about this, my chicken friends. But Hubie, you're a super friend. Oh, there you go. So Hubie Jen will know about all the chicken. Here, hold on. Unedited, Casey, and there's no editing on this radio, so this is an unedited water drink. Had my 2 coffees this morning, so I'm good to go. My muffin and my banana. Burning some garbage. Got to do some beef cows. Getting back. So Hubie Gen, the first barn was a Clark built barn. It's got the butterfly feeders, and then my new barn and a Genius control system. That's your computer system to control all the feeders, the waters, the fans, everything in the barn. And my new barn, I did a. It's called a SCO system, and I said they both work. They both work okay, but I said in my opinion, what I like the best is the. Oh, KCN, did you leave? Oh, I'm not going to do the voice. You can do the voice, mystery. If I do the voice on my podcast, I will. I can do Italian and make fun of them, but I can't do an Indian voice and make fun of them. But oh, get in trouble, get in trouble. But so this barn's a SCO barn, and what I said to this guy, I said if he asked me what I like better, and I said realistically, I like the Genius better, the old barn better, just because I'm a more hands-on kind of guy, and I can pull up my phone. You can pull up, go on the internet. You can look at every single thing, change feeders, change. Oh, here, mystery. What are you telling me? You're not going to say it. Oh, no, I'm not doing the accent. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. That's how they talk. That's how most of them talk. So what do you want? Except for Maya. Remember we had Maya on a couple years ago, and she's Canadian born, obviously, but just she looked Indian, but she's Indian parents, but like had like talked clearer than you and I and everybody put together. Just very articulate. So I gave my opinion on the barns and whatnot, and I had my feed guy here, and I had my feed guy here, Mr. Dorland from Brighton, and he's with Newlands Feeds. And well, you got to watch when he's here and he's saying, "This is what I would do, and this is what I would do." And maybe I shouldn't have said it, but I said, Dave, how many fucking birds have you raised in your life? And he's like, "Oh, I've raised a lot." I said, "No, you have." I said, "Don't even give me that bullshit, Dave." I said, "If you you have not placed chicks ever in your life and not raised chicks, if you raise chicks from the moment they come in to the moment they leave, and you're there with the chicks and all the way through, yes, you do." I'm not saying he's one of the better feed salesmen. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, I said you have not raised a flock of chickens. So that's like telling a farmer what to do, exactly what to do with cows, and they've never milked cows or before, or they're a robot farmer and they say this is how you milk cows. No. So gave him my opinion, and I don't know this new entry program. I am not on the committee that does it, so they evaluate a lot of financials, a lot, and I'm assuming lots of stuff. I don't know exactly, but they there is other options. When I was getting into chickens just before 2013, I was looking at the new entry program, but at the time they said if you have quota and another supply management sector like dairy, which I did, it's frowned upon. And then say they wouldn't give it to you, it says it's frowned upon. So they would more than likely go with other farmers. So he doesn't. His family is part of a quota system, but at the same time, he's got his own farm. So I don't know how that. As long as you separate the two, I think that's what they care about for the new entry. Now, mind you, in the chicken side of it, you can buy quota anytime. Mystery tomorrow could go as long as you got the money. Oh, Roscoe entered the studio. Roscoe and Mystery. What are you doing today, Roscoe, for fun? Are you watching curling all day? When does your son play? That would be another question. When does your son play hockey? When are his games? I will talk about Luigi Fee in a second, but let me finish up on my. So at any time in the chicken industry, you can buy quota and start into the chicken business. Dairy is not as easy to get into. You either have to buy a farm or go on the new entry program. So buy a farm that has quota. Like if Emmett wanted to sell his farm tomorrow, and Mystery and myself and Roscoe wanted to milk cows again, not. Where's KJ gone? Oh, KJ left. Mystery, give KJ a text. She left. If Emmett wanted to sell his farm, Mystery, Roscoe, and I wanted to buy it, we could and start milking cows, but that's the only way. We couldn't milk cows at Roscoe's farm, couldn't milk cows at my farm, and couldn't milk cows at Mystery subdivision. But that it is. So it was a great visit. Dave took us out for lunch, and then after we were done, I had private private time, private talks, just me and him. And I said, I said, even though the salesmen are good, they're always looking out for themselves. So I just said, be careful of salesmen anywhere. I said, if you can use a salesman to your advantage, then go for it because they're gonna use you for their advantage. So I said, use them when you can, and if you have a good one like Dave, you stick with it, and if you have, you can always learn from the bad people. Let's put it that way. Enough about, well, where is it here? Just gonna check that off, and then I got my warm weather. I'll talk about the power outage. We had a crazy power outage in Bradford the other day. 5 new messages, jeepers. Mr. Mystery and I are curling in Brampton today. There you go. How many new Canadians are curl? That would be nice to know. Fee needs a co-host. I was thinking about that today because Fee and I have been chatting back and forth for a little while after the landscape show, and there used to be a time not too long ago. Maybe he was a little busier, but he would not answer his phone very much and not answer his text very much. But he has been the last little while. So Luigi, Fee told me that he bought. I know you guys will be like in awe about this, but Fee and 6 of his buddies bought a Junior C franchise down there where he lives. You can believe that. I was just like, it's kind of like in awe. You think your friend's a celebrity, but I know it's a Junior C team, but at the same time, it's kind of, I thought it was fucking exciting. I'm still excited right now. It seems like, so him and 6 of his buddies put in, I don't know how much, I actually know how much, but I'm not going to tell you. Put in a certain amount of money, and well, like whatever, divvied between 6 people, and bought this Junior C team down near Binbrook, down where he is, and it's pretty exciting. I said, "Well, do you make much money?" He goes, "Oh no." I said, "Why do you do it then?" But he just, I don't know why. Fee this guy, Fee. If you've seen him, a short little Italian with a big belly. He's like an Italian. He looks Italian, but he's mungy personality, and I don't think Fee is good at any sports. He's never played hockey. I've seen him on skates. He's not. And go. His dad and mom were immigrants, and they worked hard, and didn't have money for kids to do any sports or anything like that. And I get it. He worked hard. Great guy, but not good in sports. I don't know, Mystery, what team. I forget. I'll have to text him and see. I forget what he told me. It's not like a. It'd be like somebody telling you the Schaumburg Cougars, and people are like, "Who's that?" And that's kind of same thing if you live down there. And it's there's all those little small towns down there like Binbrook and Welland and all these small towns, and I forget which one, but it's a Junior C team. So I will find out and get back to you on that. So Fee texts me, but I lost my train of thought. Hold on, Mystery. Are you guys like have me on air at the Brampton studio? You didn't answer me how many. That'd be interesting to know how many new immigrants play curling because I know they love cricket back in their hometown. A lot of them. And did you see Wanda and Richard Zemelink's daughter is the alternate for the Ontario team, and I forget exactly what, but she was on, and Emma would know this, but she was online talking away. Hold on, what? It's either I get a message. It'll either be my wife. Oh, I know Luigi played. Did he actually? I know that's if you call that a sport, wrestling around with guys on the floor. I don't know, but I guess some people can say it's. Mystery says 0, but there is a lot of, for lack of a better word, white people that play cricket because cricket is very popular in Australia, but it's very popular in India and all those other countries too. So it's kind of a cricket's a mixed sport. Curling is definitely a white sport, and I'm not being racist on that. I'm just telling you the truth. If you look at any curling, the Asian countries like it. Europe likes it. It's developed in Europe. We like it. I don't know if Americans like it that much, but not as much as us. Let's put it that way. Um, yeah, so power went out. So as I drove my daughter hockey after this guy was here to look at the chickens. We're in the chicken barn at the same time, and the power went out. Oh, BC, Ontario entered the studio. Are you curling with Roscoe and Mystery today in Brampton? Because if it's Saturday, it must be like a bonspiel or something. But so the power went out. This guy was here looking at the chicken. I was gonna say cows. Looking at the chicken barn, and power went out. Next thing you know, the generator didn't start. So thank goodness I would have been over there, but thank goodness we went in for dinner or something like that. My generator didn't start automatically, which it's supposed to. So that's one of the hiccups. And I do start it not every week when the chickens aren't in, but when they're in, I start it every week, and just to make sure it didn't start. So bit of a hiccup, and I don't know what happened. Something in Brampton, a line went down because of the wind. We had a massive wind and lost power. And I don't know if BC knows this, but when your power goes out, your parents, well, my mom, it's like that's the worst thing in the world. Like I had text from my neighbor. He wanted to know if I still had my PTO generators. So he didn't have one. Mr. Squibb, as Mystery knows, Mr. Squibb. I said, well, don't you have one? I don't know if I said that, but I said it nicely. But I said, don't you have one? And he said, it's been getting repaired for 4 weeks, and at that time, so when I went to bed last night at 10:30, the power still wasn't on from 3 o'clock till 10:30. So if you were trying to milk cows and didn't have a generator, now get this part. Ferris is down the road who has sold land and have a bit of money, don't have a generator. Now that's how weird that is. Like, why would you not have a generator if you have that much, if you are that financially stable? Let's put it that way. Now, coincidentally enough, quality as you, no, I don't have a back. Actually, do you have a backup generator to back up the generator? Almost should, because there's a guy out Teeswater Way, our previous director, and apparently he has a PTO generator to back up his generator just in case that generator doesn't work. And I guess if you have a barn full of chickens and they're ready to go out and your generator does not work, as Mystery knows, then you're pretty much fucked. So that is something I really, really, really should look into, because it seems to me that the power has been pretty good here for the last few years, but in the last couple of years, there's been some weird stuff with power, and maybe that's all to do with these electric cars and all this bullshit going on right now. But who knows? But maybe, Mystery, you are correct. Maybe I should have a generator to back up my generator. That's not a bad. Maybe you're making a joke when you said that, but maybe I should have one and hook it up to the generator, because once you're and my mom almost needs a back. She needs a little generator because if my mom listens, I don't want to be like too negative, but she was very, very upset because her generator did not start, and it's an automatic generator. It's a Generac, and basically it's supposed to start every time. And she goes, well, can you look at it? And I said, I can, but I'm not an electrician. So she's got it locked for some reason. I don't know if someone's gonna break in. Anyways, that's, older people. They are what they are. So I unlocked it, looked in, and there's oil all over the floor of the generator, and the oil cap was not on, and there was some line sitting there. And she goes, well, can you fix it? And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I said, I could put oil back in, but if you start it and it screws the whole thing up, you're a little bit worse than I would just put an oil in. And if she had cows or chickens, or it was a business and they need the generator, that's different. But I'm like, it's hard to tell her that that's not important, because she doesn't really understand. I'm trying to tread water here, something fierce, but it's like, anyways, you can do without power for a little bit. It's not 100% the most urgent thing in the world. Let's put it that way. So she can do without power. So, Mystery, you probably hit the nail on the head. I should have a backup generator to back up my generator. The guy's coming this morning to look at my mom's generator, and hopefully, and the power went back on. I don't even know when, because you know what the funniest thing is that I have a sleep machine, and there's really no power in the bedroom because, well, whatever. There's no power in the bedroom because we don't have alarm clocks anymore, and most of the time I have a new phone. I don't have to plug it in. So there's no electricity on. So the only way I can tell that the power's on is I pull my sleep mask off a bit and there's air blowing. I'm like, well, there's still power, because that's how I tell if there's power in the stuff. So I was going to talk about traffic, but I don't want to get a negative thing. I just said there was a couple accidents last night going to hockey. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Hubie Jen knows all about the girl. I don't have any girls on because KJ left, but Let's put that this way. Yesterday, my daughter was in love with me. I don't know why. I mean, she should be all the time, but the amount of affection I was getting from her was insane. It was like a dog loving you. And let's put it this way: 3 days ago, she hated me to a passion, and all the girls should know why that is. Anybody with daughters knows why that is, but holy shit, it's hard for me to comprehend in my brain why I'm hated. So I know it's God and it's the time of the month, but holy shit, hates me. I don't know what I did wrong. And yesterday I'm the best guy in the world. So it's just it is hard for me to comprehend my brain, but that is the world. Thank you for listening, everybody. Good luck in curling, BC. Get to work. I don't know what you're doing, but get to work. I will get back to you on the Junior C thing with Luigi. Oh. See ya. Safe driving. Mystery, hold on. Let me see what you said. You'll carry the team, Mystery. Roscoe. That's what you told me. Who is the skip would be the question. Roscoe, probably. See you later.